With the viral pandemic having spread to over 20 countries in 3 continents, the World Health Organization has seen enough and officially declared the nCoV acute respiratory disease a global health menace. Strangely enough, not included in its recommendations is a moratorium on all airplane flights to the city of Wuhan, where the virus first made its planetary debut. PTV correspondent Mark Vitalco on countries contaminated with a viral pandemic that have taken it upon themselves to cut trips or travel to a number of cities in China. In this report.
The World Health Organization declared the novel coronavirus acute respiratory disease, or 2019 nCoV ARD, as a public health emergency of international concern. This after an emergency committee convened on January 30 in Geneva, Switzerland. According to the WHO, the declaration is not just because of what is happening in China, but because of what is occurring in other countries as well. Previous emergencies have included Ebola, Zika, and H1N1.
The essence of this classification is to help member states strengthen their preparedness and response capacities to deal with preventing and controlling this outbreak.
To date, the WHO does not recommend the imposition of any travel restrictions, but respects the decision of member states to impose measures to protect their constituents. After the issuance of a temporary travel ban of all travelers coming from Hubei province of China, the Department of Health said that they will recommend expanding the coverage to more Chinese provinces which are mostly affected by the nCoV. Meanwhile, following the country's first confirmed case, the DOH assured the public that contact tracing is underway to prevent the spread of the virus. They said that they have already gotten the flight details of the 38-year-old Chinese woman, while the airlines have already given the manifestos. From Hong Kong, she rode a Cebu Pacific plane to Cebu on January 21, and then from Cebu to Dumaguete on the 22nd via Cebgo flight, and the Philippine Airlines flight from Dumaguete to Manila.
And the airlines have been very helpful and cooperative with us.
Under the contact tracing for planes, the DOH follows the rule of 4, wherein the 4 passengers nearest the patient in front, at the back, and from both sides will have to be identified. Then, the DOH will contact them and advise them to undergo mandatory quarantine within 14 days. Meanwhile, aside from the airplanes, the DOH will also go directly to the places and establishments where the patient has been to, such as hotels and restaurants.
Ayaw natin na takutin yung mga contacts na magtago kasi hindi naman sila ikukulong. Importante na maintindihan ng mga contacts na dapat sila maobserbahan sa loob ng 14 days para kung ano man ang kanilang maramdaman ay agaran silang mabigyan ng tamang management.
As of the moment, the Chinese national who tested positive for nCoV is admitted at the San Lazaro Hospital in Manila and showing no symptoms of the illness according to the DOH. Based on the latest data, there are at least 31 persons under investigation, 23 of them are admitted and still being closely monitored in the hospital. Lastly, the DOH urged the public to boost their immunity, practice good personal hygiene, and monitor themselves for any signs and symptoms. Mark Vitalco for The Nation.